So I just passed a road called Mount Misery Road, and it made me realize that's exactly where a lot of people live, especially heading into retirement, and they don't even know it. And it's that mindset where nothing ever feels like it's gonna be enough. You're always looking around, you're comparing, you're measuring, you're wondering if you're behind. And it took me all the way back to something I experienced years ago in training as a state trooper. We had just finished a brutal workout. It was hot. We were completely smoked. And honestly, we were dying of thirst. The instructors, they handed out cups of water. This wasn't your bottled water that you get today. This was warm water, poured out of big jugs. They had filled it from a local spring. There were no filters, no labels, no guarantees about what you were drinking. And I'll tell you, I don't know if we were drinking clean water or a bunch of microorganisms. But in that moment, it didn't matter. That water tasted like life. It was exactly what we needed. Then the instructor said, "Look to your left, look to your right, and tell me what you see." And almost every one of us said the same thing. They've got more than me. That's not fair. How did they end up with more? And I remember thinking the same thing myself. Even after everything we'd been through, even after being that thirsty, we were still focused on what we didn't have. And then the instructor said something that I will never forget. And he said, when you look into someone else's cup, don't ask if they have more than you. Ask if they have enough. Now that was very relevant to public safety. It was very relevant to being a state trooper because you always needed to show up and you always needed to look out for each other. And that moment stuck with me because it exposed something real. How easy it is to slip into comparison without even realizing it. And that's exactly what happens to a lot of people as they get closer to retirement. You start looking around. Who got to retire earlier? Who has more saved? Who's traveling more? Who's got the bigger house? And before you know it, you're right back on Mount Misery. You're measuring your life against someone else's. So let me ask you something and be honest with me. Do you ever catch yourself doing that? Looking at someone else's situation and thinking they've got more than you? Or that you should be further along by now? And hey, if that's you, just drop a quick yes in the comments. I think there are more people out there who feel like that than want to admit it. And I've been one of those guys before. Absolutely. I'll raise my hand on that one. But here's the truth. There is always going to be someone with more. Always. You've got a quart, they're showing up with a gallon. You've got a gallon, they've got a 5-gallon tank. The race, it never ends. So if your happiness is tied to having more than the next person, you're playing a game you simply can't win. But retirement, it isn't supposed to be about winning that game. It's about finally stepping off the field. It's about asking a better question. It's not, do I have more than them? But do I have enough? Enough time to enjoy your life. Enough health to do the things that matter. Enough connection with the people that you love. Because accumulating more water in your cup at this stage, it's probably not going to fill you the way that you want it to. And here's the shift. When you stop focusing on who has more than you start noticing who might not have enough. And that's where purpose shows up. That's where meaning comes in. And that's what actually fills your cup in a way that comparison never will. And hey, If this message hits home for you, take a second, hit the like button, consider subscribing. This is exactly what we talk about here on our channel: real life, real retirement, and how to actually enjoy this stage instead of chasing something that never ends. So here's what I'll leave you with at this stage of life. The goal isn't to have the biggest cup. The goal is to finally realize you don't need one. You just need enough. Enough to breathe, enough to enjoy your days, enough to sit with the people you love and know you made it, enough to be on a road trip and see the sign and pull over and find a place like this to shoot a video. Because if you spend your life chasing someone else's more, you'll miss the fact that you already had what matters most. And that's how many people end up living on Mount Misery. But you don't have to. You can choose to step off that road starting today. Thanks for watching. We're Retirement Unmasked. I hope you have a wonderful week. And I'm going to continue on my journey. Up the road, I got about 6 hours of driving left. Thank you.